every night is a loose one. And every flight, you know that I put the crew on. You say that I drop top, well then tell me what you done. Still in my winning phase, yeah, I've been away, are you entertained? Yeah. The God of me, that's what I'm constantly summoning. I love the climb, I don't care where the summit is. Funny when people be saying I peak, retire, my parents, they live at the beach.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Grind and Shine podcast. Today, we are going to talk about obstacles and challenges, and these are things that we face on a daily basis, and really just the mindset shift that we've had, and we try to continuously remind ourselves on how challenges and obstacles can either make us or break us.
Yeah. So I would say the biggest mindset shift that we've had is things happening for us and not to us. So whenever we have something that's like really beating down the doors and it's really hard and you're really walking uphill, we always try to take it as a learning experience and try and build, towards something that we're working towards and actually get something out of facing this tremendous obstacle. Like Nick said, we face this all the time, and it's something that we've learned a tremendous amount from over the years. I think one of the biggest things that this can teach you, like overcoming obstacles, is that it teaches resiliency. And by doing hard things, you're able to I guess, build up your character. Would you say that?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, with work, life, business, working out, anything that's challenging at first, you're probably like, holy shit, I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah.
And then, as you push yourself or get pushed, and you start to go through it, you realize it's not as bad as you thought it was. And actually, Alex Hormozy said this one time that really stuck with me. Fear is a mile wide and an inch deep.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, if we adopt that thought process to all of, the daily struggles and daily challenges that we go through that we're maybe fearful of or unsure about, that will make it a lot easier to go through it because, we've done some hard workouts before, back when we used to do CrossFit, and it was just like, I can't do that. I don't know if I'm going to go today because that looks hard and I'm sore and blah, blah, blah.
You're scared of it when you see it posted.
Yeah. But then, you go through it, you text your friends, hey, you going today? Did you do it? And they said, that was a tough workout. You got to do it. Let me know how you do. And then as you go through it, you realize like, oh, that's actually, just one foot in front of the other, basically. And you just little by little inch your way through it. And you get through it. And then on the other side, you realize, you know what? It wasn't so bad. And ultimately, you become better and stronger from it. And, for us with work, we've experienced this many times with deliveries in schools during the summer when schools are shut down and the elevators are shut down and the air conditioning is not working and it's 100 degrees in the school with 100% humidity and you have to walk up 3 flights of stairs with 50-pound boxes of either tile or cement bags on your shoulders and you just have to deliver like, I don't know, 300 to 400 bags
and boxes
before
and boxes of tile.
Right, before you even start the job. That's just like step one. And it could be daunting and, morale could be down. But how many times have we gone through that with ourselves and our team? And, you make jokes, you crack jokes along the way, you make it a little bit lighter. And you all get through it together. And it definitely fosters better teamwork, camaraderie, I should say.
Well, yeah, teamwork and camaraderie, yeah. And I would say that the biggest things for me, going to being able to see an obstacle, and I feel like I always relate it to going into like a dark place, in a sense of being able to like tune out whatever else is going on, just focus on the problem and try and really get creative with the solution. And the ability to be able to do that was, you kind of triggered it with me here, was doing hard things physically, like deliveries, like CrossFit, and in our early youth, wrestling. That puts you in a real dark place when you have to just it's 2 hours of suck every day, and it really puts you in a place to where you're able to tap back into that, and you're able to say like, okay, if I did that and I overcame this obstacle, I could definitely work my way through this one. I know this one's really tough, and it might be different. Like for us initially, actually doing the work was pretty straightforward because I think Dad was, guiding us, and he was always leading us. And then the obstacle that we, coming up in it was leadership. When all of a sudden me and you were the leaders out of nowhere, really, it felt like, and everybody started looking at us to be the leaders, we had to overcome the obstacle of learning to be leaders. And that was completely overwhelming and just mentally draining. And how did we do that? Well, I know for us, we started emulating what Dad did.
Yeah.
Dad, and the way that I always looked at it was, Dad is not only our dad, he's everybody's dad. And he treated all of the guys as his kids, and just like was able to basically be their father and show them the way through work. And that's the way that we adopted it. We were never yellers or anything like that, I would say.
No, because he always led from the front. He
Right.
was never, he would, if there was, getting back to the school delivery situation, if that was the delivery situation for him, and guys were, maybe bitching and complaining a little bit, he was the first one to say, put 2 bags on my shoulders and, let's go.
Yeah, he always led by example. Yeah.
He always led from the front, and he just instilled that in us naturally by, us watching him do it. And yeah, like to your point, I think, by doing the hard things time and time again, it slowly but surely builds self-esteem. And you can look back and be like, you know what, this isn't so bad because the last delivery we did, or the last workout we did, or, the last wrestling tournament, whatever it was a lot harder than this. If I did that, I could easily do this.
Yeah.
And so it definitely builds self-esteem in you, but it also it promotes an opportunity to learn and make advancements on yourself, your thought processes, or the way you operate in business.
Right.
I know one job in particular sticks out, which was a horrible delivery. We had to deliver like 5 pallets of self-level, which is, I can't do the math, probably.
Is that the one with me and you with the Mapei? Is that the one you're talking about?
I don't know what bags it was, but it was probably like, I don't know, 400 bags of 450 pound bags of self-leveling that we had to bring down like 2 flights of steps. And it was like staircase, landing, and then another staircase. And it was like two stories down basically. And so that wasn't, terrible because we were going down with gravity, but someone, I forget who it was, thought to come up with the idea of like somehow making a ramp.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And we somehow crafted this ramp with like, I don't know, garbage bags or a tarp or something. And we had 2 guys at the top, 2 guys at the bottom, and we were just sliding the bags down the ramp and then just stacking them up on the pallets downstairs. And it made the delivery a lot easier. And it was something simple. It's a simple shift, but because that person, whoever thought of it, went through tough times before that, it changed them and was like, wait, there must be a better way to do this. We could do this a lot more efficiently and easier. And that one always stuck out to me because we actually posted it on social media and got like,
Now I remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a liked video.
Yeah.
Because it's true. We've all been there, and
we've all been there.
And through these challenges, that made that one a lot easier. All the previous hardships made that immediate hardship a lot easier because of what we've learned.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, I mean, just if you, well, I guess we already spoke about this, but like, it makes it a lot easier when you have a couple of guys on a team that are characters, and they could joke about things as they're going and really change the attitude and the tone of the situation and make it a lot more enjoyable.
Well, I would say that comes down to also like your overall culture and your morale. Like, are you a kind of culture that is going to say like, hey, listen, this is hard, and the hard things need to get done regardless of how you feel. So what are you going to do? Are you going to make it a really shitty experience, or are you going to have as much fun as you can. No one's saying that you can't, make it an enjoyable sucky experience. You could make it as enjoyable as you can by just cracking some jokes, doing whatever, and then the time goes by and the bags move and the tile moves and all this kind of stuff happens. And then it's the same thing when now we're getting more and more accustomed to doing hard things behind a desk. Like, I'm not used to sitting behind a desk and working as much as I do now behind there doing, marketing estimates, whatever, all the stuff that we do. That's hard to me. And that's a major obstacle right now, because that's something that we have to learn how to be better at. And all this kind of stuff is necessary in the growth of our company and in the growth of every company. You have to just learn how to do new things and overcome all of these different obstacles that life throws at you as you're growing your business.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think there's many different ways of things being difficult or challenging or, obstacles. One thing that I try and remind myself I need to be better at is, just doing the hard thing first, getting it out of the way, because I think as the day goes on, at least for me, most of my mental energy and physical energy is in the morning, early morning, late morning. And then as the day goes on and decision making happens, and you start to get fatigued by the end of the day, and then you tend to push some harder things off for the next day, and then you just keep repeating that cycle. So for me, I try and remind myself, like, if there's a tough phone call I have to make to a client or someone, maybe an employee, just like make it first thing in the morning. Get it done with. You'll feel better about yourself. You won't have this looming thing over your head all day that will detract you from doing the other work that you're supposed to do. Because if you do, chances are you're not doing what you're supposed to do with full intention and attention, because you're nervous about this other thing that you have to do, but you're not doing. And again, I'm not perfect at it. Just I try and remind myself, like, make that hard thing first, get it done, move on, and start, knocking out other challenges with full attention.
Yeah, and I think that the real piece of information there is that, no matter how you look at your day, no matter how you structure it, you should attack your, the way it works for us. And I'm not going to say that it's, that you should take this as gospel. Yeah. But we try to do the hardest things that we need to straight up front, because that's when you have the most bandwidth to do it. And we try to do it at times and on days where it's best for us to do it. Like today, no one is here. This is the time that we're able to focus on this. It's a new thing for us, and we're trying to make sure that we can dedicate the most bandwidth that we can. It's in the morning. We're here. We're trying to make sure that we have the most bandwidth to do this and put the most that we can into it. Yesterday, and I know that we alternate on this, I got here super early in the morning because I knew that I had to take care of stuff that I have to. So there's things that you have to take care of as a business owner that nobody knows about early in the morning, and make sure that or it's either early in the morning or late at night, because the 8 hours that you're here,
that's when your phone's not ringing.
That's when your phone's not ringing from 5 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. and then from 6 p.m. on. That's when your phone's not really ringing. Well, ours is because we have crews at night, but in the morning we can get a lot done because that's when we have nobody's interrupting us, nobody's bothering us. We're able to sit here in quiet, me and him talk and get all the stuff out that we need to. We do a lot of planning at that point, and then that way, come 9 to 5, or 9 to 6, or 8 to 4, whatever it is that you look at, you can attack all the little obstacles all day long and jump over those things that you need to. Like how many phone calls you got to make, rerouting guys, doing different deliveries, all that kind of stuff. So I think that doing that right off the bat is and setting time aside to do it is super important.
Yeah. And to your point, for us in our world, working in New York City is our schedule. If we set a schedule for the week for our guys on a Monday, it will change probably 5 different times by the time Friday comes around. And those daily shifts of the guys are lined up to go to, let's just say, the Empire State Building at 5 p.m. tonight. At noon, we might get a phone call. Hey, the building just canceled us. They have an event going on, which literally just happened last week.
Yeah.
They have an event going on. They need to cancel you until next week. And so now it's like, now you're scrambling at noon in the middle of doing all your other things to try and find where, the crew can go in order for them to not lose work, of course, and be productive. But it's just those like unexpected bumps in the road that wear down your, that fatigue you, so to speak. So that and I'm trying to remind myself now, by doing the hard things in the morning, these unexpected challenges that come up during the day, you'll have more peace of mind doing it, handling those, and you'll have more time, speaking, because you have done what you needed to do early in the morning to be able to field those, and now give your full attention to that, because that requires full attention when that type of situation comes up.
Yeah.
But also getting back to, building self-esteem. I know, for us too, the first time Dad had us run a job without him, we were probably shitting our pants, so to speak.
Yeah.
It was nerve-wracking. We're like, wait, what? You're not going to be here? And he would say, nope, you got it. I have to be at this job, or I have to be over here, or I have a wedding, or whatever it was. I remember being very nervous at the first time, but as you slowly start to do it more and more and more, you get used to it, and you build that self-esteem. You're like, I did that job the last time. This is no different. It's just maybe a little bit different of a scope. And the same thing happens with phone calls. I know the first phone call that came in from a super that said, hey, what happened with this job? Why did this job go sideways?
Yeah.
And we knew that we were going to get that phone call. We were nervous, maybe stumbling on the phone, but naturally, not every job's perfect. So we've handled many of those phone calls throughout, our time here so far, and we know how to field them better. We know, how to address them when they come, and what words to use, and how to keep people calm, and how to keep ourselves calm. And
Yeah, those are the really important obstacles to learn from when something goes sideways.
Yeah.
And learning from there, because I know that Dad has a great way of communicating to people that he's able to calm them down and make them feel very at ease. You know, how many times you hear him on the phone? No, listen. Super simple. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go in and we're going to fix everything. Everything's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. I'll be there tonight. And then the next day, everybody's happy.
Yeah.
And you know what? He calmed the situation down. Everybody's happy. We move on to the next thing. And that was the other thing too. He would I can't tell you how many times our dad has said this to us. Listen, super simple. Here's what you're going to do. And then threw whatever at us, whether it was actually simple or if it was the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard of, that was the opening line. And we would then work our way through it. And it would kind of break the ice a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously the way he got to be able to say that it's super simple, and you do a good impersonation, is because he's faced thousands of other hardships and challenges, maybe similar or different, that have built his self-esteem and confidence in himself to know how to handle the situation. To this day, he still calms me down when things go sideways, or I have a question, or just what should we do in this situation? What do you think about this? And he's still he's gone through so much in his life with work and just life in general, that he's been there, done that, and he just can calm you right down. And I think that's a very important part in being a good leader, is the ability to calm people down and
in the face of obstacles.
Yeah, in the face of obstacles, and just know all right, if he's not nervous or upset about it, then I'll be okay. We'll be okay. If he's good, then we're okay. Things are not so bad. But if your leader was to just be in panic mode, hitting the panic button and freaking out, that will send a ripple effect through everyone, and really shake the company. So I think having that calmness and just take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. We've done this before, and just in a different way. We're going to do it again now. We'll get over it. We'll get through it. It's going to make us better.
Yeah. And I would say that if you're in an overwhelming situation or facing an overwhelming obstacle, that you don't have to make a big decision. You could just make a micro, just make a decision, make a micro decision, and then build off of that. You know, like all you have to do is just say like, okay, I don't really know what to do, but I think this is the right way.
Yeah.
And then if
It might not be.
And it might not be. And if that's not the right way, then just course correct.
Yeah.
You know, just do a little bit to the right or a little bit to the left, and then you figure it out. And then eventually everything does become a little bit more clear, and you cannot be the panic button when you're the leader. And you have to learn these things, and you have to make sure that you're just making little course corrections. And even when things are crazy, make the course corrections, do what you got to do, and then everything will be super simple.
So I think that covers it for.
Yeah, I think
what
that
we
wraps
wanted to
everything
talk
up.
about. Yeah, because again, we go through this on a daily basis. I mean, I was dealing with text messages last night. You know, trying to be the calm voice and calm the situation down.
Yeah.
So this definitely helped me. So
Yeah, I think that the most important part of this whole project for us is to just kind of get stuff off of our mind and off of our chest that we're kind of going through every day, and just hopefully it helps people, you know,
Yeah.
and hopefully it also lets us talk about it and be like, hey, you know what, that conversation that we had really gave us some clarity on this.
Yeah.
So that being said, you know, thank you for all the support that you guys give us.
Yeah, we've been getting great feedback.
Yeah,
so
lots
far.
of great
Thank you, guys.
messages, and people coming out and saying good things about the podcast, and really, really appreciate it. And listen, if you get anything out of this, we really would appreciate you sharing it out. Tell a friend about it. It helps grow the message. So thank you very much, and we'll talk to you next time.